All right, so welcome to our team call tonight, and I'm super excited about it because you guys get to hear from some of my very best friends. So Timmy, as I like to call him, I've known literally since the church nursery when we were babies. He's a year and 2 days older than me, to be exact, and we talk about that often. And then Wes has become one of my very best friends through Plexus, and so we have to give Tim the credit because he's the reason we're connected. So we have to do something to make him feel good about that. So anyway, I want you guys to listen to a little bit about their story, and then we'll ask them some questions. So I will mute myself and take it away, Bishops. Thanks, guys. And there's Kaden.
So I always tell Tim that he's jealous because Brooke likes me better now. So anyways, all right. So most of you probably have heard my story, so I'll just be brief. Basically, when Plexus came into my life, I was miserable health-wise. I struggled with migraines about once a week, and I had a headache almost every single day. I also had really severe abdominal pain, and which led to drastic weight loss. And for those of you that know me in person, I've always been kind of a thin person, so I was drastically underweight when I lost that weight. I was tired all the time, heartburn, high blood pressure. I mean, I just was a mess. And I was looking for something to help me with energy and to help with my abdominal pain. I wanted to be able to eat normally again. I had resorted to drinking Ensure. Like, that was the only thing that didn't hurt like really bad when I tried to drink it or tried to consume it. So that was mostly what I did. I did some soup broths, and that was my life at that point. And I've always really loved food. So not being able to eat was miserable. So I just wanted something to help with that and with my energy. Didn't really ever expect anything to help with my headaches or my migraines because I dealt with those for 20 years. And, I'm a pharmacist, for those of you that don't know, and we tried, my doctor and I had tried just about anything for my headaches and migraines, and nothing was helping. So I never really thought I'd get relief from those. So, fast forward, it's now been over 2.5 years that I've been on Plexus, and all those things that I used to deal with are no longer. All the changes were gradual, but the headaches were what started to get better first. I had 2 migraines in the first 6 months of using Plexus, and then I haven't had any in the last 2 years. And headaches are super rare now. Like, maybe, I don't know, every other month or so I get a headache, and they're not nearly as severe as they used to be. Abdominal pain was a little bit more gradual change, but it got better, got to where I could eat normally again, got back up to a healthy weight, which was the stipulation for me to be able to, or for us to be able to try to have another baby. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, you see pictures of our not so little, almost 8-month-old on Facebook. So yeah, it's just changed my world. My blood pressure is normal now, on no medications for it. I just posted the other day that I've been off of my heartburn medications for a couple of years, which is super exciting because they're finding all sorts of crazy, scary side effects with long-term use of those. So that's a little bit about my health story. You want to tell us a little bit of yours?
You sure do. I didn't have near the issues Wesley did, but obviously I saw the changes firsthand take place with her, and they were life-changing. I mean, I've said it before on different calls we've done that, Plexus gave me my wife back, because everything she just said, I mean, it was in fact true, and she was miserable. She'd come home, have 2 bites of food. Most of the time she'd have a migraine. She'd go lay in the bathroom with the lights off, and she'd go to bed. And then it'd be me and the boys. And I love my boys to death, but I mean, she just wasn't there. And so it was hard. And so, I saw these changes take place, and it was just incredible. And so obviously seeing how wonderful the products were, even though I didn't outright have any massive problems like she did, obviously I needed the product.
Caden says he ate too much. That was his problem.
Oh, thank you, Caden. So I would eat too much, which is probably true. I would get to the point where I was full, and then I would continue to eat. And I was a little bit overweight. I thought I had lots of energy, but once you take the products and you start using the pink drink and you're consistent with it, you see how much energy you really didn't have. You thought you had energy, but you didn't. And so it's helped me a lot with my teaching, with my coaching. I have more energy to teach my 8th grade students. And if you've never been around 8th graders, they're something else. So I always got to be on my toes for them, and I'm able to run more with my cross country kids. And so it's curbed my appetite. So I don't eat as much, which has helped reduce some weight. So it's just been a blessing overall for me. Like I said, obviously I didn't have the massive issues Wesley did, but even the little things it's helped me with. So yeah, it's been wonderful. So and then again, obviously it's turned Wesley's life around. So anybody have any questions?
Okay, so first off, just because it just popped up, if you guys want to share what products that you take, and then I'll kind of go through the questions that were on the pages, and then we can just go with whatever pops up in the chat too.
Caden wants to say what he takes.
Maybe.
Oh, now he says maybe.
You
Okay,
go first.
so we both started out with Triplex. I used just the Triplex for, I'd say, close to 9 months or so. So I saw a lot of the big changes on Triplex alone. But I knew I could feel better, and I knew that all of our products were pretty awesome. So I started to gradually add in products. The first one that I added, I believe, was, I'm looking over at my supplements. I think it was X Factor. And then Mega X after that, and it must have been Vital Biome after that. So those are the products that I take. And then I do the P96 on mornings when maybe I don't feel like making breakfast, or we're out of bacon, or something crazy like that, or in a rush. So yeah.
I take the Triplex, the pink drink, and the ProBio, and the Bio Cleanse, and I also take the X Factor and the Vital Biome. Yeah, and I took Accelerator for a little bit. So, but those are the 5 that I'm on every day.
Do you want to show what you take?
What do I take again? Wait, so I take ProBio, Cleanse, that's refillable?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so the first question, Lori Kavanaugh said, what has been your favorite personal customer help story? So like person you've helped, I would say customer or ambassador. What's your favorite?
I think you probably know the answer to that. So my dad is my favorite story. Gosh, I've talked about this a lot and not cried. So he was. Can you take it?
Her dad has been battling cancer for a couple years. Multiple
endocrine neoplasia.
Yes, I can never say it, so I always butcher it. And so he had some massive surgeries to get various parts, organs removed, major surgeries. And his quality of life was very, very, very poor. Most days he would lay around all day. And if he got up, he'd walk maybe down the steps, get something to eat, and walk back up the steps and go to bed. So his quality of life was very poor. And, Wesley wanted to share the gift of Plexus because she knew how important it was, and how it could help make it feel better. So she, after talking with him several times, she got him to try, and it was amazing how much it improved his quality of life. He went from laying around all day to he went to leaders retreat with Wes in Texas, and he was able to walk a 5K. I mean, and this guy couldn't even get out of bed hardly before he started the products. And he was very passionate about it. He became very passionate about it. He went to the national convention, leaders retreat, and I think a lot of you have met him, and just a wonderful person. And so his quality of life was drastically improved. Unfortunately, he did pass away recently. But
he I mean, he just had such a passion for helping people and a passion for this business. And it was all because he just had this crazy belief in the products because his life literally was changed. He, besides the quality of life, he was able to greatly reduce his insulin doses. He was able to get almost completely off of his pain medications before the tumors came back. And just, I mean, it just, yeah, that's my favorite. We can move on.
Timmy, do you have a different favorite one?
No, that's by far my favorite too.
So what Tim probably remembers, and I think I have it saved somewhere in my phone, and I'm certain I sent it to Wes later on, is I still remember the day that I'm going to cry, that Tim sent me a text message that simply said, "Thank you for giving me my wife back." So he did, that was, that's got to be up there at the top of yours, because I didn't know Wes that much, and hers is one of my favorites. So, okay. Another one of the questions is, this is kind of funny, just because I think it's funny because I'm laughing about Dustin and I's situation. Do you ever go on a date night alone?
Yeah, not as often as we need to or should, but yeah, we try to at least
once a month.
Once,
maybe?
yeah, well, probably once every 2 or 3 months. But yeah, we'll get my mom and we'll get a babysitter over, and we'll go to Solana usually and grab a nice bite to eat and maybe go see a movie or something. And I mean, it's often quick, but it's important to have that quality time alone. As much as we love our boys, it's that one-on-one that you really need. So, okay. So yeah, we not as often as we like, but yeah, we do.
Okay, so next question is, what rank is Tim, and how long were you at Silver, Wes, if you can remember?
So Tim is Silver. I wrote down my timeline because I couldn't really remember. So I wrote down, I went Silver so I don't know if they want to know the whole timeline, but I started as a customer in August of 2015, signed up as an ambassador in September, simply for the discounted products. I didn't plan on working the business or telling anyone really about it. I think I did my first post in October of that year. And at the time I was actually working another MLM, and I was told I couldn't do both, or couldn't post about both on Facebook. And at the time I really wasn't sure if I wanted to put myself out there with these, because I am a pharmacist, and as Brooke can probably attest, it's kind of scary being a healthcare professional, talking about supplements. We're kind of taught in school and, even when we're in the profession, that supplements really don't do much. I mean, that's really what we learn. And we all know that's not right. We all, are believers now. But so anyways, I was nervous about that. So I kind of, I posted in October, and then didn't really do anything with it until probably mid-November that year. They had this this incentive where you could earn I don't remember how much it was, but a bonus if you added so many customers and ambassadors in the month. And I'm all about contests and things. So November was when I went Silver, and really when I started working the business. And then I went Gold in March. So I guess about 4 months it was Silver. Do you want me to, I don't know.
Go ahead and tell go tell the rest of your timeline.
Okay. And then in August of 2016, so about 5 months later, I went Senior Gold. And then I was at Senior Gold for a year. Went Ruby in August of 2017, and then Senior Ruby in November of 2017. And I'm Senior Ruby now. So
she's knocking on the doors of Emerald. She's getting closer all the time. So I have to laugh because when Wes started, if you think that you have the answers or there's an end all, we were told that Wes couldn't post about Plexus. And I went to I'm a geek and I need fine print. So Wes and I are combing over the compliance guidelines, and it says that you cannot post or share about another consumable nutrition product. And so I argued with some of our uplines that you guys know And the last conversation was something like, the last time I checked, you don't eat your earrings. So she's not out of compliance. And so she's going to run with this thing, whether you guys like it or not. Can you imagine if we hadn't let Wes do it? Like, what would she be doing right now? So if you think something's not right, like, we'll go to bat for you, I promise. Because you don't eat your earrings. She was totally fine. And she's a rule follower. You even deleted all your posts, didn't you? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes me want to cry a little bit. Okay. Okay, the next question is, how do you expand your network?
So some of this for me is to expand my audience, I guess. I tag this guy in all of my Plexus posts.
I'm very popular.
Whether he likes it or not. Because he has a lot of friends that I don't know. So when I get a like or a comment from one of his friends, then I'll add them. And then I'll send them a message. And then just really expanding my network is right now, obviously when I meet new people, but on Facebook, I'll just go through, people you may know and friend people. It's really been that simple, I guess.
Okay. Okay, she said, how long did it take for you to go gold? We already answered that. What rank is Timmy? We answered that. Okay, so these kind of go together. So when did you feel it was the right time to add Tim to be an ambassador under you on your team? And do you build under Tim, or does he build under himself?
Okay, I'll answer the first part, and then I'm going to put him on the hot seat for the second part. So I added Tim as an ambassador to me in November of 2015 when they had that incentive, and I really wanted that bonus. So that's what made me decide that I needed to add him on my team, honestly.
In terms of building under me or her, I mean, I don't hourly post as much as I should, obviously, about Plexus, but I definitely talk to people I know about it. A lot of my coworkers, a lot of people I coach with, and if they seem interested at all, I tell them that I will get them more information. I talk to Wes about it, and then I'll either get back to them, or sometimes Wes will get back to them. And from there, we just kind of mutually decide whether they should go under me or whether they should go under Wesley. A lot of times they just go under Wesley, but there's other times they've gone under me. Obviously, I have a few ambassadors under me. So it's just kind of Wes and I just kind of talk it out and make a decision on what we think.
And typically, I mean, anymore, we never really built under him until I was about Ruby or so. And then once I got there, then, if it was somebody that he had talked to that he knew that I didn't really know, then they'd go under him. And then anybody else would go under me. Yeah. But if there's like an incentive or like, I don't know, convention contest or something, I guess this year, customers under either one count, but when I'm really wanting the PV and stuff, then customers obviously are going to go under me. So
yeah, and you guys have never struggled with outside leg points, so that's an amazing way to build. I did that too, but completely like you, because it was a contest and I didn't know what I was doing, and I think we've both done ourselves a favor because you never have to worry about outside leg points, which I know I said, I think on the call Dustin and I did together, that I know people personally that have diamond overall points, so 4,500 pay points, that are only making emerald money. Now they're still getting 4,500 pay points in their paycheck, but they're missing out on a sapphire bonus, a diamond bonus, the bigger car bonuses, the other Christmas gifts, the other incentives when it comes to trips, because they don't have the outside leg, which would be awful to have. I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, but you would obviously like to be making that diamond money. So for whatever that's worth.
And I definitely encourage everybody to build as wide as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't even know how many level ones I have, a lot. And that's what you want. You want to have a wide team, so you don't have to worry about those outside leg points.
And I love that they let us do that. We can add however many people we want. Okay, so Carrie, you were thinking of how to word a question. Did you think of that wording? So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, because I know you've been thinking of something for Tim and Wes. So I'll mute myself and you can unmute yourself.
Okay, being in the healthcare profession and doing what we do, how do you separate the two, and how do you how do you not push big pharma and supplements at the same time?
So that is a loaded question. So, I mean, obviously in my current job, I'm working in what's called a closed door pharmacy. So I don't see customers coming in all the time. We do special packaging for like nursing home patients, patients who struggle with adherence, people that, have disabilities or whatever, people that can't take their medications on their own. So we have to package them specially for them. So I'm not, I don't have that conflict of interest very often anymore, because I'm not, dealing with those patients every day that are having issues that I know Plexus could help with. With my previous job, I did run into that a lot. I was doing more in a primary care setting, doing diabetes management with patients. And that was very difficult because I knew how much Plexus could help them, but I was working under a collaborative practice agreement. So under a physician's license, I was under collaborative practice agreement. Basically, I was able to prescribe medications and change medications for patients. And I was working under those physicians' licenses. I just had to be mindful of that and know that, anything that I did, it was potentially saying that the doctor had their stamp of approval on it. And so I only told a couple of my old patients about Plexus, even though I knew they all could help or could benefit from it. And I was very careful about how I told them. I would tell them about, this is a wonderful probiotic that I think would be really beneficial for you, or, this pink drink could really help to balance out your blood sugars and help you feel better and help with weight loss and all these things that you're needing and wanting. But I would not give them my website. I would say, here's the website. If you'd like to order, you can order through here. Because I didn't want, them to feel like I was telling them they had to be on these things, and then I was benefiting financially from them, if that makes sense. So I don't know. It's a tricky thing. Brooke might be able to give some insight on this too, but yeah, it's a tricky thing.
I agree with what Wes said, and I tend to, I felt like as long as I discussed the standard of care and what was, if you look at different guidelines on what you should talk about with IBS, or what you should talk about with Crohn's, or what you should talk about for inflammation or chronic pain, I felt like if I crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's and talked about all the FDA approved treatments, and if they said, what else can I do? Or if they asked any question that opened the door, I'd shove my foot in there. And I'd say, and I wouldn't necessarily say what Plexus was. I'd say, you know what? I really think gut health would benefit you. And most often I was doing this when I was doing truck drivers physicals. Have you all seen truck drivers? Like, have you been out to the truck stop? Like, they're a walking nightmare and they need gut health. So it was very easy to have that conversation. I would say, I don't know if you've heard of gut health, but a lot of the things that you're struggling with, and they would, we'd have that conversation. Then they'd say, well, how do I fix my gut? Well, amazing probiotics, good bathroom habits. Well, where do you get probiotics? I'm like, well, you can buy them over the counter. You can buy them from various places. Well, do you take them? Yes. Well, where do you take them? Well, I buy them from wherever. Well, how do you get them? I'm like, well, I buy them from myself. Now there's this company, and I would say, like Wes said, I don't care if you get them from me or whoever, this is the website. And if you wanted my help with that, you can contact me outside of clinic hours. But I would let them drive that conversation. So if it ever came back to me, is my boss really going to be mad at me for answering their open-ended questions about gut health? I didn't steer them. I didn't coerce them. And I made it very clear that I didn't care if they bought from me. I just want them to know about Plexus and gut health. So I think we have a similar train of thought when it comes to that, for sure. And I think that's the safe way. That's just like them saying, what's your favorite gym? What's your favorite vegetable? Like, there's nothing, you're not liable for answering honestly if they're driving the conversation, in my mind. Okay, so Tina made a comment that they had asked them at every appointment for her daughter, and they never knew anything about nutrition or gut health. That doesn't surprise me. And you were seeing GI specialists, I think, right, Tina? I'm thinking, or if we're talking about your daughter for Crohn's, I can't see you if you're nodding your head because your screen is frozen, and you can unmute yourself if you want.
Yeah, my daughter was diagnosed with Crohn's disease 3 years ago, I believe. And at the appointments, they advised to go on these high-risk drugs that have all these side effects and everything. And every appointment we've been to with her, we've asked, what are the other options? What are the other natural options? Do you know anything about diet? And I mean, 3 years ago, when she got Crohn's, it was like we didn't know anything about the disease itself. So it was just kind of like blew us away and surprised us, as a family, and to see her go through that. And so, yeah, it's really frustrating to be on this end as, a parent or patient or whatever, to ask that question and want it. And either they can't tell us or they just don't know. So I'm super thankful for Plexus, and she's, we saw her the other day and she said, I'm feeling really, really good, Mom, and she's been super consistent with her Plexus products. So I'm hoping soon she's going to have her own testimony, because she's a big girl. She's 19, she's in college. And so now as an adult, she has to be the one that decides what medication she wants to go on and things like that. And they wanted her to go on Humira, a pretty serious drug. She chose not to. She's sticking with her Plexus products and stuff. So yeah, it's lots of prayers for her, but it is frustrating being on that other end before asking for nutrition advice or other options. So yeah.
And I think for me and for Brooke and hopefully for most healthcare providers, like, we ultimately want what's best for the patient. And unfortunately, a lot of healthcare providers just aren't informed. They don't. I mean, I didn't know about gut health. I didn't know about what what amazing things these types of products could do for you, could do for everyone. So I guess, Carrie, for me, it's not, pushing big pharma or pushing Plexus. It's, what's best for that person. Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes prescription meds are needed. And I say unfortunately because I believe that. I mean, they're not always needed, and a lot of times they come with bad side effects. So if you can do it naturally, then do it naturally. But yeah, so I think it's just about what's best for the person.
And I agree with Wes. I mean, I think I would hope that any provider or medical, personnel you ever saw would want what's best for you. And I think 99 times out of 100, that's probably true, unless they have a drug rep or somebody they're getting kickback from in their back pocket, which they shouldn't, but that happens. But I can tell you, I've said a million times, and I'll say it a million more, that I was ignorant and I was uninformed. And I mean that. Like, who wants to say they're ignorant? But I will say it every single day, because I had no idea about gut health. And every single thing that I learned about leaky gut or yeast overgrowth, the very first time I heard it, in all honesty, I thought someone made it up. That some hippie on the internet put it out there, and it wasn't true, until I did my research. And I was like, oh my gosh, all of this stuff makes sense. And I would guarantee Wes probably thought the same thing. Early on, we still have a doctor. One of my very first ambassadors is a doctor in Nebraska that I met at a continuing ed conference. And the girl could go crazy with her business, but she just doesn't have the time. I love her dearly. She's a boy mom of 3. And I remember messaging her in the wee hours of the night. And I'd be like, do you think leaky gut is real? Or do you think that's made up? She's like, I don't know. Let's do research and I'll get back with you next week. And we were both researching from 2 different states. Do you think yeast overgrowth is real? I was like, I don't know, but like, my reputation's on it, so I sure hope so. Like, we were having these conversations. So I can just tell you, when they say they don't know, like, they don't know. I had a 1 class period lecture on nutrition to have a master's degree to be a primary health care provider. That's stupid. I mean, really, how are we supposed to give any advice when we've had 1 3-hour class period? That's all I had my entire master's degree.
And that's why we love Angie so much. My girl knows her stuff.
Okay, so did anybody have any other questions? Those were all that we had asked on there before.
Put him on the spot, guys. Anybody got questions for him?
Yeah. Tim's good on the spot. Tim is a ambassador, diamond in the making. He just hasn't let his full potential be seen yet.
He's like, like the male version of Brooke.
Kind of scary.
Explain to you, Brooke.
I think that's a compliment for you, Timmy.
Okay, so
Don't cuss on here, Tim. There's people on here. Okay. So in what ways do you support Wes in this business, Tim? That's the question.
I mean, obviously, I talk to people that I'm in contact with, through work and coaching. I talk about Plexus quite a bit.
I'm going to just interrupt for a second. He's actually better at that than I am, talking about it in person.
I don't know about that, but so if somebody, and a lot of people that I coach and teach with I'm Facebook friends with, so they'll see the post that Wes tags me in and they'll bring it up. And so I'll go into detail about it. And we've signed several people that I teach with, and that I know that Wes doesn't know. And a lot of times it's because I'm able to, articulate about the products and give good, explanations about what they do and how they help. And so in that way, and then the other big way I help is, in the evenings when Wes is doing everything she has to do to keep this business going, I'm doing this stuff behind the scenes. I'm doing all the housework. I'm doing the dishes. I'm doing the laundry. I'm taking care of the boys. I'm giving the boys baths. I mean, so she can spend time on the computer and spend time on the phone. And I know that. I know she needs to do that to help build the business. And, we've talked about it that, bust your butt now. So, later, in the future, it doesn't have to be like this every single night, and obviously she's going to continue to work the business and outreach and post, but, she's really trying to build and right now. And so, I'm doing all the behind the scenes work and I don't mind doing that whatsoever. I mean, I don't mind doing the dishes or the laundry or cooking and cleaning, and so she can spend time building her business.
And I don't mind not doing those things.
Fact.
You're a good man, Timmy. A good man. You and Dustin probably deserve some sort of award, and me and Wes probably should work harder on housework, but we're not going to. Okay. So Tina says her hubby wants to know, how do you bring it up with people at work that maybe don't know what Wes does?
Well, a lot of times where I talk about it with coworkers, it's because they've seen the posts. Now, if I'm in the teacher's lounge and people are talking about health issues, and then I will go ahead and insert about Plexus. And so it's not like I outright just, hey, everybody, my wife sells Plexus products. But, it depends on the situation. And if the situation arises where people ask me about it because they've seen the post, or people talk about health issues or family issues, or family members that have health issues, obviously then I will bring up Plexus and how it's helped my wife and what it does. So that's kind of how I talk about it with people I know.
And for those of you guys who don't know, Tim has the uncanny ability to talk to anybody at any time about anything. So there's that. So he can make it sound completely normal and natural. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you a plug there, Timmy, that you're good at that.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I love these calls, guys. I think they're the most fun. Ashley, you just joined us. Do you have any questions? Tim, can you provide husband training? Don't give him that much credit, you guys. This guy does not lack confidence at all.
What?
Sorry.
The kid, he doesn't need his ego stroked out.
No.
Go ahead, keep stroking it. It's fine.
We're feeding the monster. Stop it.
I've actually been watching the whole time. I was just watching through my phone, and I just got it downloaded on the computer.
Oh, okay. I didn't want you to miss out on your opportunity to ask a question because I just saw your face pop up. So.
Nope, we've been here the whole time.
Oh, I see two of you now. How weird. Okay, there you are. Awesome. Okay, so last minute, any questions? Because I know everybody's got kiddos to put to bed. Mike popped into the screen. Did Mike have a question, or are you just waving? Okay, guys. Well, thank you, Tim and Wes, very much for giving us your take on how you guys can run Plexus together. And I love it. I think everybody does it a little bit different. There's no right way and no wrong way. And I think you guys do it well. So thank you very much for sharing with us.
Huh? We love you, Brookie.
Oh, I love you too.
You're all right.
Whatever, Tim. Whatever. Okay, hang on. I want to unmute you guys so you guys can say thanks. Okay. Everybody's unmuted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.